Over 26. This is
The Vagabond.
This is the Brunch Club.
Over 26. Welcome back to
The mics are
Genius.
closed.
Now, when you watch it, you'll understand. And then you point
It
to
did. I was like, I hope someone gets my dad joke here. Lit.
So I laugh. We continue.
I was so pleased with my joke.
Action. You're so proud of
I was
it.
so pleased.
The little girl in you will go like,
So anyway, so Checkmates are having a minisode this year. Yeah, we haven't done a minisode in
we've
such
never
a long
done
time.
that.
Yeah.
We haven't done.
And Muthoni is here. You've been such a beautiful spot.
Thanks.
And I kept saying it. That's the thing with Muthoni. We can speak the whole day.
Indeed.
And we won't even
And
finish.
it's gems,
So I have to be
swear.
like, hey, back on set. Done. Go. But yeah, so stories from around the world, right? So there's been a lot of disruption around the art space, which we operate in, right? Like if you think about something like the blockchain, think about NFTs, and we're all just looking at it and thinking, should we get in it? Should we wait and see?
Yeah.
We have different opinions. So when you're certain about something, maybe you get into it. So I'm just thinking of how far can you push art? Because there's really not a limit to it. You know, when you go to maybe proper corporates where there's systems and whatnot, sometimes there's structures and this is what has to be done, you know. So we're looking at this story where there's an artist who sold an invincible piece of art for $1.2 million.
An invisible piece of art.
Yes.
So
I
the
have
owner,
it. You want to see it? It's here.
so the
It was
person
an
who
NFT?
bought it, no,
It was just a piece of art.
it was not. This is even
In a
just
gallery,
involved. It's
eh.
in a gallery, yes.
Here is my piece.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll
DOE.
maybe it's a glass casing. I need to see how he
It's
went.
completely
How he went home with
invisible.
it.
It was real. How
So-
was it packaged?
What the owner took home was a certificate to show that they actually are the owners of this art that does not exist.
No, that's invisible.
It's invisible.
It
It's
exists.
invisible.
Invisible art.
No.
Chaxy, it's invisible,
It's invisible.
art. Not that it
If
doesn't
you use
exist.
invisible ink to write a note,
Yeah.
the paper seems
Yeah.
Show me the invisible
empty.
ink. Show
But
me. Aside movies, show me.
No, that's Tom and Jerry.
Clearly,
Unless-
hapo ni pesa ilikuwa inaoshwa.
Yeah.
Missy, we said
Truly.
art industry, art, hey, yo, apple juice.
Industry.
The entire art industry has been used to fund wars, clean drug money, whatever. Yeah.
So,
Someone wanted to wash ka 1.2.
yeah.
There's a possibility.
so the article on New York Times, I wanna quote something, right? It says, naturally, paying money for nothing might seem strange. However, the recipient now of the invisible art was a rare remnant from zones of immaterial pictorial sensibility. Such a cool name for an art that doesn't exist,
Doesn't
right?
exist. At his
And then-
zones of?
Zones of immaterial pictorial sensibility.
If you have to sell shit,
Wow.
if you have to sell invisible art, you have to sell it nicely.
Wait,
Because you're
you
selling-
package Muthoni's
It's the
English
pitch.
inside there. That's the only way it's
But then-
gonna go.
Because I had
Done is English. I love it.
It goes ahead to say, in the mid-1900s, there's an exhibition series which featured a French performing artist called, I can't pronounce the name, but it ends with Klein, who would sell vacant rooms to collectors in exchange for gold.
Vacant rooms.
Yeah. To collectors. So collectors, because if I'm a collector of art, like Hov is very proud of his art collection, I collect an actual piece. So, like, I have a lot of pieces in my house. I'll be like, oh, Karun painted me this, whatever. You know what I mean? So now, what you will be collecting is just a vacant room in the name of art.
That's
it's not like a room you can sell or make something out of it or live in it. You have to keep it vacant because it's that the
There's
art is the room.
that's there.
For good.
Is that how real estate was born?
That's a
I'm so confused right now.
Me and you both.
No, I told you guys, when you're rich enough and you've done everything that money can buy you,
Yeah, there's
you need
nothing
to
you
do some
can't
dumb
I
shit.
suppose, right?
Yeah.
And also like pushing the idea of concept.
Yes.
Because
Concept.
how are you interesting in a room of millionaires?
Yeah, you have to
You
stand
have to
out.
say something that someone will be like,
You have to
I'm
identify
the only
invisible art.
invisible piece of art in the
Indeed.
world.
I'm the one and
Truly.
only collector.
Yeah, literally.
Because ukiwa umehang na sisi brokis, utachapa story tuko like, wow, ati kuna yacht ngapi?
Invisible.
Everyone has a yacht, everyone has a private plane, everyone is in all the nice
Everyone
clothing.
has everything.
What are you talking about in that ballroom in
You
Monaco?
know, I think we need to get on the streets of Nairobi. Now that Sakaja said it's free
To film.
to film
Yeah.
on Sundays. I think so.
It's only on Sundays, on the weekends.
I mean, so far that's what
It's
most
free
people are
all
saying.
through, but most people film on
Okay.
weekends because it's
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Correct.
Weekend weekday where 1 versus 10 kanjo is bad.
And also,
But
Kanjo's
10 versus 10
Kanjo's will
kanjo.
still have us
Mbaya.
You know, if you guys
Yeah.
are shooting there na mmeshikwa, sisi kama tunashoot hapa takwa like aiwe Sakaja alisema.
Yeah. There's that, but also it's really not clear because also a lot of people online have been like, we got arrested.
Yeah, like it's
Mm.
like rules that apply for different folk.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we probably need to do as you think of just
Street
more content
check.
outside
Street
as
check.
that is
Street
on the
check.
street.
Street
Yeah,
check.
street check. That's the word. Ooh.
Love it.
Street check. So we do street check, and then we try sell something that doesn't exist.
Yeah,
I really
fast.
think
Kenyans.
so. I really think so.
In this
And then we
economy.
film it.
Where have you seen? You showed us that
The
video.
black man.
Someone pranking people in town anambia wewe nakuchapa tuko na shida mingi usijaribu pranks.
Man didn't even
Street
make a
check.
move, but
Yeah.
Woman was ready to smack the leaves
Let's
out
do it.
of
Utakufa
him.
bure.
Guy.
Let's do it. That would be interesting to see. So we all checkmates that episode.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah. Sell anything that
Sell
doesn't
and add.
exist. You know?
Yeah.
And then we could even not. We don't even have
No,
to. Yeah.
doesn't. You're using the
It's
wrong word.
invisible,
It's
Chaxy.
invisible. It
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
exist.
invisible.
It's just
Yeah, yeah.
invisible.
Like, can I sell you this
It's
invisible
entirely
mug?
different from
Yeah.
it doesn't exist.
It's so heavy.
So it exists. You just can't see
You
it.
just can't see it.
And the beauty is
And you have to trust my integrity
Yeah.
in buying this invisible
Facts.
thing
that is there.
to tell you my concept and it's there.
Dude, I
You know
even
what I would
gave you
do
a
if I was this
certificate.
guy? If I was this guy, the first thing I'd do when I get home, I'd chill like 3 months, and then I'd write an insurance claim. I've been robbed.
Hey!
But then that
Then
would
I
be.
get my 1.2 mic
But
back.
That would
Okay,
beat the
but how would that
point. You
work,
gave
though?
the
Yo,
certificate.
this is a fantastic scam. Because I came home with my
I came
invisible
with
art,
invisible art,
and,
fine.
I have, and I have
For
home
payment.
insurance.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anything in my home is insured.
I have CCTV footage.
Including this app.
Damn.
But then,
And I got robbed, and now I was robbed, and they've picked my invisible art and it cost 1.2 million. I'm with you.
Facts.
Run me my money.
Bro, aye.
so that means I need to prove that I got robbed.
Yeah,
Or I just
no.
need to
I
leave
would
the
just
house
give
and
you a
come
drink,
back
I
dressed
cheers.
in
You
white.
got a certificate and it's not there. It's a done deal.
That's it.
Bro.
That's the one.
I get my 1.2.
Devio,
Yeah.
Naileta hapa
Yeah.
tunapata
It's
fit
true.
for venues.
Yeah.
Fit
for purpose.
Fit for purpose venues.
Have you guys fit for purpose?
Fit for venue.
Have you
Fit for venue
fit
purpose.
for any purposes? Have you guys seen the story of Nonini and Brian Mutinda?
Yes.
Yeah.
And, which we've covered before,
Yeah.
right? Did we call Mutinda on that episode?
we called
We called
Kate.
Kate.
Oh, we called the
lawyer.
lawyer who was involved, and Kate is willing to come on the podcast. So
Yeah,
we will have
definitely.
in one of the episodes
Yeah.
just to discuss IP because I think that's something that we also need to pay attention to as people who create stuff, right?
Yeah.
So ideally, for anyone who doesn't have context, is Mutinda was paid by a company to do a digital whatever. What is it called?
Influencing.
Influencing,
Yeah.
basically, right?
Content.
But
yeah.
then in that piece of content, they used a Nonini song that they didn't get clearance for.
Yeah, so they synchronized.
So they synchronized the content with a Nonini song
Yeah.
without getting any clearance for it, and gave it to the client who posted on their socials.
100%.
Mutinda posted on their
Yeah.
socials. So Nonini was like, "Yo, guys,
Run me
doesn't
my
work like
money."
this, run me my bag."
Hand.
So went to court, and apparently the story is apparently until Kate or Mutinda confirms is that so they were served notice. Then they didn't appear in court. Then they were reminded to appear for the second hearing, which they didn't also appear. So the
That's a
judge was
fumble.
like,
That's
so
a
the judge was
fumble.
like, listen, depending on what Nonini said the valuation for a sync deal is,
That's
so the
it.
court was like $1 million to Nonini, and then you
Plus
pay
damages.
plus
Yeah.
damages,
Yeah.
which is
And
essentially
legal
whatever
fees.
Nonini
The
paid
legal
to the
fees.
lawyer.
Yeah,
Yes,
cost of the
yes,
suit.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think IP is something we have to discuss because in the age where even corporates are moving from mainstream media advertising to using
Yeah.
influencers and people like
Yeah.
us, because we have people reaching out, can we advertise, can we do this on the podcast? So IP is something that has to be essential because if we advertise, say, a corporate tomorrow on the podcast, right? And decide to use content that Muthoni owns, like Nairobi. So imagine finding out client X, mic check with client X advertising a certain promotion with Nairobi. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
This is my song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
bro, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Even
But
if
for
you
us,
took a content
Muthoni,
from
would
mic
you
check
let
and
it
went to
fly it?
monetize.
So that's a really good question because I mean, some years ago, I remember I was listening to a radio station, and so they use artists' music as a bed, right? When like the DJ is talking or when the presenter is talking, they put your music as their bed.
Yes.
Oh.
And okay, so so far, okay. But then it was a bed of, the radio was doing a gig they had a gig.
Oh.
And so they were advertising the gig and my music was the bed.
Your music?
Yeah.
Crazy.
But when money is involved.
Now, of course, yeah. It's commercial now.
So then I was like, exactly. And I didn't know, you know, and because I felt so disempowered because you also want to maintain kind of a good relationship
with the
this
stations
station.
and whatnot. Yeah.
And they're like, you know,
But it's fine.
basically
No
we're
one listens to radio
advertising.
anymore, it's fine.
No, I mean, that was at the time when we were listening to radio.
Yeah, at the time, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying if it's now, it's fine.
I'm giving you the bombastic side.
'cause she's
Minister.
working
Such a radio presenter. That's her day job.
My night job, actually,
Okay.
So,
but yeah.
I didn't know how to go about it.
Okay.
But by converse, we've shot a promo for something and we're shooting in town and we just scouted locations. And then we ran the ad and Bankslave's lawyer wrote us a cease and desist.
Oh, because his art is in the whatever.
His art is in the thing. And we had no idea. And we're like, we didn't go out looking for your piece of art. We were filming on the street and, you know,
It was there.
It was
Yeah.
there.
So you need to get clearance from him.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't there also a situation where I think you guys ran a promo for an event using Wendy K's
Yeah,
music?
Wendy's music, yeah. And we had to, we had to work it out with Wendy.
Damn.
Yeah. So even when you're running the blankets ad, you can't just because you're performing doesn't mean that you give me permission.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
use it to add.
Those are different rights
So
from performing rights.
that's a different right. So you have to get explicit written performance that we can use your music in the promotion of the show and in the post promotion of the show.
Because also, if you sign, say, Kinoti, who's performing the next Blankets, right? If you sign Kinoti and your agreement is you're signing him to come perform at Blankets, if you're going to do any other promo, even using his image, you have to get permission for that.
Yeah.
To be like, so because of the gig, we're going to put up billboards and do whatever. So you have to get image rights.
You have
Because
to get
also
image
image rights
rights.
is
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
So if you wake up tomorrow and your image is on a billboard,
Run
There's
me my
infringement right there.
money.
Yeah, and in fact, there was a case, right? The one for KTDA, I think. They had this like old lady who was picking tea in Kericho.
yeah.
And that's the case that created the precedent for image rights.
Wow.
Because she's just like, me, I didn't say you can
Sikumbuki
use my
story kama
image.
hiyo,
to to make money
It's
from...
true, I work here, but
don't.
I'm not a model, I'm a
That's
IPT.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah. So I think
Not in a bad
when
way,
I
I'm
was...
just saying. Like,
What did you say?
I just said I'm
I'm
not
not a
model,
model, I'm a worker,
Oh,
man.
see.
that's copy already.
True.
Man, that's copy. I'm not a model. I
Let me
think
check that.
But I think
Yeah.
I think because when
go
you look at
Barry.
the divide
Yeah.
that creates online and how people don't understand this, then I think essentially if you need to do anything commercial that involves any person's work, just make sure that don't
Yeah.
think you can just
Just make sure they're
at whatever
compensated.
level.
Yeah.
And also when you have an agreement to do X, if you want to do Y,
Please ask.
just know that the agreement for X doesn't work for Y.
Exactly.
Those are two different agreements.
Exactly.
And you know, it's all conversations. Before court, it's just a conversation.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just that. Because
Yeah.
even in this particular case, there were prior conversations that were outside court.
Yeah.
But now I think things went out of hand and they had to go settle it in court. Yeah. Because I think things can be solved in Jakoti too.
Yeah, but for things to be solved, you who is on the wrong, you have to be teachable. Like
Yeah.
there's also some situations for you didn't know and you didn't know what you didn't know.
Yeah.
So just be gracious about what you didn't know and then like fall in. But
Yeah.
And then you're like, how do we make this right?
Truly.
Pull down the post, do this
Yes,
and that.
do
blah,
this
blah,
and
blah.
that.
Apologize, do
Yeah.
what you need to
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Keep it
Yeah.
moving. Yeah.
All right, then have you seen Beyonce and Adidas have parted ways because of the
Ivy
Ivy
Park.
Park?
But I saw that coming.
Who was rocking Ivy Park?
Gadoni was rocking
Gadoni
Ivy
was
Park,
wearing
yeah.
Ivy
I
Park
wanted
at
to wear
Confusion.
mine today, but nilisahau.
Ah.
I'll wear it next week.
Okay,
Hata
okay.
amenitumia tu picha sahi. Nilimwomba nipige picha nikasema hizi si haziuzwi tena.
But yeah, I feel like
Wearing
this is
that
something
big
that
ass
I
kimono.
saw coming. From the minute they had the partnership, I was like, yeah, this won't last.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No,
Why?
honestly, I thought
First of all, Beyonce is not the kind of person that you'll see on the street. That's one.
Yeah.
And two, the only time you see Beyonce, she's
When she has
in
music or a performance.
gowns. Even in her videos, you will barely see any Ivy Park.
athleisure, there's nothing.
Have you ever seen Beyonce in a normal
please,
outfit? What
apart
you'd
from when
call-
she's doing the ads for Adidas.
Yeah.
Honestly, if Beyonce was smart, she wouldn't have actually just cut off the deal. Probably should have given it to Blue Ivy because Blue Ivy is always in athleisure. She should have just given that to Blue. I mean, it's already called Ivy Park. Might as well just give it to the baby. She rocks
But
this
so how's the
day
baby
in, day
supposed to
out.
advertise? The baby is not on socials or anywhere.
No, but for the campaigns and whatever. But even when you see Ivy like at baseball games and whatnot, she's always rocking at leisure.
But that's not enough to sell, bro. When you're Adidas level and you have someone like Kanye who's literally making billions of profit, not even revenue, of profits for the brand. So my problem would be with Beyonce. What is just what you're saying is, I'm not used to buying stuff from Beyonce, except tickets for a gig.
Yeah,
because I don't see Beyonce anywhere aside when Beyonce is
in
has a
concerts.
new music coming out, or she attended Met Gala and she had this gown or whatever. So I'm not expecting to buy a sneaker from Beyonce because I've never seen Beyonce in the sneakers.
Truly.
So in my mind as a consumer, I probably would buy sneakers from Rihanna because I have so many pictures of Rihanna on the street.
Yeah.
It's not believable. Rihanna can sell to me stuff because I see her all the time.
And
it's like Nyashinski.
authentically with them.
Because I'm looking at and I'm a Nyashinski fan, right? So I'm looking at the partnership with the guys who keep walking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and I'm thinking, it's been 1 year now. I've not seen a single song from Nyashinski. So if I'm the guy who keeps walking, then my correlation to the brand, what is my correlation to the brand in terms of engagement with the audience?
Yeah.
So is on the billboards, yes.
Cool.
But then there's nothing happening
You're
in
never
the
walking.
world to the public. I know there's a lot happening behind the scenes. Maybe there's an album. I don't know what he's doing. But then if there's a year of zero engagement,
Silence.
then as a brand, where am I plugging in? So if I'm plugging to an artist who's releasing stuff tomorrow, so the talkability, the engagement, the guys consuming, not liking, for it means momentum for the brand. So there's no momentum for Beyonce to sell me anything aside if I like Beyonce music, I like the album, and I know she's one of the best performers ever. So I have an incentive to buy a ticket to Beyonce because I have seen all the time she kills her show.
Truly.
So I'll buy a ticket. But what else have I seen about
No, but
Beyonce?
I feel like
I know
Beyonce
nothing about Beyonce. So am I buying an outfit?
Couture. I think she would actually flourish
So
in
then
couture.
have you guys seen yesterday, the day before yesterday, she dropped
So that's my alarm.
she dropped her a line, a Renaissance line that she's done with Olivier Roosting,
Yes.
who's the head creative at Balmain.
Absolutely.
Now that is Beyonce.
I would buy that.
But also, then why? So if I'm Beyonce, I think her world tour, which is one of the most expensive ever in the world, is almost sold out, right? So if I have so much demand for people to see me perform live, then why not include Ivy Park as part of the merchandise to the album and roll out?
So
all the units I'm selling,
It is. Ivy Park is a chunk of the merch. But they also designed Ivy Park as a fashion line outside of merch.
Yes.
It's like Yeezys.
Got you.
Yeah,
So,
it
so
fulfills
outside,
both,
that's
yeah.
what is
It
not
fulfills
making
both-
money
yeah,
for
it
Adidas.
fulfills both functions. Yeah.
Okay.
But for sure, I definitely agree with some of the sentiment. You know, as a dedicated member of Beyonce, I have high believability for these couture pieces. In a way, because the price point then of the athleisure just didn't make sense.
Exactly.
all.
Like,
Yeah.
when have you seen Beyonce amevaa hizo tracksuit?
I've never...
Even driving kwa hizo in a car with never.
But you never see her...
But she models.
Bro, if you
Yeah,
literally
never
went
see
to
her
her
anywhere.
Instagram now,
You never
everything
see
she
her.
has
Yeah,
is a
it's-
costume.
yeah,
You get what I mean? It's
Very
couture.
designed.
Like,
So I'm like,
bro.
Of course, Beyonce doesn't wear costumes in her house,
Yeah.
but I never see that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so Beyonce is not selling me sweats.
Yes.
No. And actually, someone did a really interesting comparison between, say, Beyonce and Ivy Park and Kim Kardashian and Skims.
Yeah.
So Kim is almost
Kim
always
is
on
Skims.
in
Always.
Skims.
Yes, Kim is
Anytime.
Skims.
Yeah.
Actually, there's less photos of her wearing anything else.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
But
saying.
she's constantly in
She's
Skims.
almost always in
Yeah.
Skims.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there's a high correlation
Yeah.
there. And I think also there's some things around when you enter a partnership with a brand that's very established. You know, like Adidas is already set in its ways. The 3 stripes are the 3 stripes. The marketplace where they occupy is the marketplace where they occupy. So it's not... I do believe the mamas around the creative differences. You can kind of see that. Like, there's ways that you can push this thing, but... You know, Adidas is Adidas. It is what it
Truly,
is. So, like,
regardless.
I'm actually trying to think
Yeah.
if Yeezy, like merchandise with Yeezy, the Yeezy brand, do they exist? The corner logo Adidas?
Right now?
I wonder.
No, they don't. No.
No.
Because I think Kanye got like creative like freedom.
Control, truly.
Because even the shoes, everything that Yeezy has done looks nothing like what Adidas has
Because
done.
even the Yeezys, because remember Yeezys were with Nike before Adidas.
Yeah.
They didn't have the
So
Nike
all
whatever.
logo.
Makes sense, yeah.
So
He walked in with Yeezy.
Yeah, he walked
the
in
same
with
way she
Yeezy.
walked in with
Okay.
Ivy
that's
Park.
why Adidas can't sell Yeezy, and they're making over 600 million in losses because they have stock that is ready to be sold, but they can't sell it because you need Kanye to sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but also that's the thing with you're working with someone like Adidas, right? So in terms of distribution, in terms of physical stores, in terms of online presence, Adidas is established. So if I'm working with Adidas today, it's possible you wake up tomorrow and whatever collaboration you have with Adidas is everywhere across the world because they have the distribution, they have physical stores, they have online, they have deliveries. So you're working with a machine that is working,
A system that's already
has
proper.
everything in place, right?
Yeah.
So if you're putting Ivy Park in all these stores and making it available everywhere, but you still have dead stock, then it just means
What's
there's
the
no
point?
demand for it. So it
But
makes sense why Adidas will be like, it doesn't
but
make
that was
sense
the
to
other
continue.
problem also, is that Ivy Park is not everywhere. It's very limited, so
Oh,
it
it felt
still behaves
exclusive,
also
yeah.
like merch and it's exclusive.
True.
So you have to be on this waiting list, like only so many people can acquire this thing.
That's
it's not
true.
easy to acquire the merch. Even when you have money, it's not easy to acquire the merchandise itself. I don't know. I just think that Beyonce is a genius and I think she's going to have a lot of success on the couture side,
For
I also
real.
think she's the kind of artist who, I don't know. It's like you do brand partnerships, like the thing that she's doing with, they're doing with Jay-Z, for diamonds,
Tiffany.
You see, that's her.
Oh, it's
No,
not
that's
her.
When I see
Beyonce.
Beyonce, I see that.
Yeah,
Ivy
she's
Park
wearing
though?
diamonds.
Yeah.
And then I also feel like she's lending them the favor. I don't know
Yes.
what else to say.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's true.
she's making it cool to have to aspire to a diamond, So
But I see how this could have been an easy sell, like in a boardroom, before everything was done. Like just convincing people, like maybe this is what we need as a brand to bring in this person who has this much success and this much visibility
Yeah.
and
to
that.
push this line that
Yeah.
goes due to where.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe some decisions. Again, there's a lot of politics in this big brands. So I'd want to see what the blueprint was, and now the construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd love to see where the
It's
idea
true.
came from.
Yeah.
What were some of the success factors they considered? What did they look at and say, this is why this will work, blah, blah, blah. And then also what corners, like uliambiwa tu na ilifika some exco level and they told you we can't do this.
Sorry. And also the other thing, just, last point for me at least is there's no guarantee also of couture working.
Yeah.
That's true.
So Fenty actually began at a couture level, like Rihanna's foray into fashion. That the couture line was closed after 6 months, and LVMH was the one that was backing. Fenty was initially couture, because now there you have a mismatch between the user, Rihanna,
and the consumer.
products. Yeah.
Truly.
So Rihanna, who is like kind of like our everyday bad girl, she's doing her thing. Yes, she's like fashion icon, but like really, she's available, she's seeable, she's about inclusivity and etc. Couture by its design is exclusive.
Exclusivity.
It excludes at price point, and there's so many reasons.
Truly.
So the couture line didn't do well. 6 months, they closed it. So there's also no guarantee that
That it's
Beyonce,
gonna work, even if she goes
that if she
down the
makes a
couture
couture line,
route.
that the lesson there to learn is like fashion is a
It's
proper
different.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
different market, and just because you have audience doesn't mean you can
Doesn't
sell
mean-
the
doesn't mean
products.
automatically
Fashion products,
makes sense.
yeah.
Truly.
But also, that's the thing. I don't think, and of course, I don't have proof for this. I'm just saying it because I can.
Gumzo mtaani.
Gumzo mtaani, yeah. Panganga tu.
Street
Na kiherehere mingi.
Za jaba.
But also, I don't think Beyonce. I don't see Beyonce chilling and thinking about Ivy Park.
For
You know what I mean?
real.
I think Beyonce is chilling and thinking about her next performance, costume, her next album. That is what I think of
Next
Beyonce.
visual.
You know?
Next wig.
And
Visual.
even when it took up, even you look at what she's promoting, I've probably seen Ivy Park on Beyonce's Instagram
Twice or thrice.
ever since.
When she's
You know
doing
what I
a
mean?
drop.
When she's doing a drop, right? So maybe to Beyonce also, this is another thing where someone, maybe not her idea, someone from Adidas or wherever came up with
reached
the
out and
idea.
was like, let's
they're
try and do
tag it to a
this.
big name, probably it's gonna work, probably it's not gonna work. And Beyonce's like, if it works, if it doesn't work,
Whatever.
I'm still Beyonce, bro.
No, but think about it. Imagine if Ivy Park was like if they actually rebranded it into like a kids line.
Yeah.
I feel like that would sell.
I think you're onto something with Blue Ivy as,
That
the,
would
as the
sell.
head of Ivy Park.
Because even her style,
Yeah.
Blue Ivy style is very Ivy
I'm
Park.
sure she has a
It would
stylist.
sell.
Yeah, it would
Yeah,
sell.
definitely.
Yeah.
She's always wearing a snapback. and
Snapback,
long
jumpsuits,
mini, yeah.
sneakers.
Yeah. She
looks
Ivy
fly, yeah.
Park for her would work.
Yeah, she's an Ivy Park.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe someone from
And
Adidas
also like
watches
her
the
age
podcast.
mates, like
You know, because I feel
other
like right now she's like the
kids.
brand of tomboys, but for like this her age bracket,
Yeah.
it would sell.
Nice.
Okay,
That's a good
okay.
point.
I see that.
I see that.
Are you watching Real Housewives of Nairobi?
No,
Why?
On the show if they reached out?
no,
Okay, why?
You're not a rich housewife?
no.
You don't live in Nairobi?
I mean, fundamentally, that's the first point. I think like Noni Maingi actually put it very well. I didn't have like the right words for it, but I think she said that there's something, the real rich housewives, like the stories we want to hear, like definitely, like I want to hear, like, Philip Moy's ex, the one who took Moy's son to court and got his money. I'm like, that babe.
That's a real
That's a real
housewife.
housewife of Nairobi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Socialites and then some fluff.
But then,
Yeah, like
would
the
she?
real, but they wouldn't.
then would she
They
sell?
wouldn't.
She
wouldn't sell.
No, she would sell because we are curious as shit.
of
That's
her
everything.
story.
But how many people know her compared to
Bro, we
who
all
wants
know
to that
her.
as us on the
All
show?
the gullies in Nairobi
Know
are
her,
like, you
that's
took
for
Amoy
sure.
to court.
And
Philip
And you
Moy
actually
not
I know.
succeeded.
and you got the money.
Bro, I didn't even remember those Philip Moore until you mentioned that. I'm like, oh shit.
But you're not the gully. You're not the TA.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
understand?
I know Vera, I'm just saying. I know Huda, I know Amare.
No. So I think they have the social appeal.
Yes, you have the personality.
Yeah, but
you don't have the zazz that makes you a real
wanna-
The
housewife.
story.
And then
the tea.
also, the other problem is, okay, I don't know her, but I'm gonna judge her.
Who?
And I'm gonna hate. Okay,
Who?
not judge. The wife Philip Moy. I'm just hating just because
Zara,
it's fun.
yeah.
Zara, her name is Zara.
Yeah.
Sorry, so I don't know Zara, right? But Zara just looks like the person you put on camera, and then she won't give you any source.
That's
She
what I'm
won't
saying.
give you material that is
She
worth
doesn't
selling on
have the
TV.
personality.
She just be like, oh.
She doesn't have the
She looks like she'll
personality.
come to complain on the show. I'm like, bruh.
No, so for me, I think the combination, the sweet spot when you're finding talent
Yeah.
has got to be somebody who is authentically sitting in that space and
And
has a
owning
personality for TV.
Yes.
So finding that confluence. So for sure, a lot of rich people don't want to be known they're rich.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna get those people to come onto the
Yeah.
show. So you're going to get people who come onto the show, and when we're like, okay, let's unpack. When we say there's rich and then there's rich.
There's
Unpack.
rich,
You know what I
rich.
mean? So I want to watch like some rich. Having
Yes.
said that, I think for me it also suffers a proximity, right? You feel like I know Susan Kaitani. Like I know
you know
Susan.
her?
I actually know Susan.
person?
Yes, sir.
Yo,
I
can
know
you
Susan.
tell her to
Like,
tone
she-
down? Like she is
she's not-
doing
so that's a
the
character for
I
most.
mean,
maybe.
so I don't know. I haven't watched the show.
I
but
like how I
me-
knew Muthoni was gonna back to like, guys.
No. Sorry, I watched
No,
the show.
I haven't watched.
Tell her she
Yeah,
just
I haven't watched the show.
You don't go
but
through.
my experience with Susan has been somebody really
Amazing.
pleasant
I
and
can
nice.
imagine.
She's a
Flamboyant
mom.
in
She's
person?
like
You've never
a
stepped on her
lawyer.
toes.
No,
Flamboyant?
she's a good entrepreneur. I haven't had that experience with Susan. So this stuff that I'm hearing about on TV, I don't know. I
it's
have
like
no
what's
reference to
on
it,
TV.
right?
Definitely written.
Okay, if you had, would you say it?
So now my
if you had,
my
would you
so
say it?
so my point. Listen to my point. Anajaribu kuniweka kwenye mtego.
Ubawe.
Madam.
Ubawe.
Na vile anawekanga display
How
kubwa
fancy.
at the beginning of the episode. The views expressed here are solely.
Disclaimer is important for this
So I
show,
think
yeah.
what happens, the show would suffer proximity because some of us like know the people in the show.
Yeah.
So you opt not to watch,
Yeah.
because then you have like some real life interactions and you don't want to have that. Now, when you're thinking Real Housewives of Atlanta, I don't know any leaks. I don't know her from whoever. Like
Yeah.
I don't know none of those babes.
Yeah.
So you have the benefit of I don't know you and I have
Making
no
your own
context. I have no
judgment.
context of ATL.
Facts.
So this could be
So what you
true,
tell
this could
me
be,
is
yes,
that.
exactly,
Yeah.
right? When you watch it, but
Yeah.
I don't have the context for those things.
Yeah.
So it's much easier it's much more palatable. It's easier to
When
consume
it's home,
that.
yeah.
When it's home, you're like, but
It's
I
a
know
bit
you.
different.
Yeah, even you'll be like, that's not
Aye, where?
tribe.
That's not your
Yeah,
house.
That's not your house, that's what.
Understand? Jua wewe.
Yeah.
So I guess for me, at a personal level, Real Housewives of Nairobi is suffering proximity. You're too close to any of these things for me to enjoy
watch it authentically.
To be removed enough from it to enjoy it as the entertainment piece that it is designed to be. You know, like when you're watching Young, Rich, and Famous. The show for Kina
Young Rich
Akina
and
Swahili
Famous.
Jerry.
Young Africa.
30 seconds.
EO.
We know it.
32. What did
EO.
Diamond say his ages?
I'm 31st.
31st. Oh, he said 31st, yeah.
At least you guys got young.
31st.
There was young.
Toka hapo ndo.
Variable.
Yeah, variables, yes.
You're removed enough from those people. So even when you're watching, you're like, definitely this is scripted. You guys entered a train and entered into a fight.
Yeah.
There'll never be such a conversation in life. What's happening,
In
right?
real life,
you know.
yeah.
Truly.
But because you're removed enough from those characters, you can
It's easy
take
for you to enjoy
those
it.
plot gaps and laugh as this is entertainment.
Truly.
So if you know the people, me basically, if my friends get into a reality show, I'm watching. So that my life can be more interesting when I interact with you. I'll be like, Chaxy's on the show saying like, so my ex told me, I'm like,
Yeah,
Which one?
I'll be watching the show with you. So that I can pause and watch you watch me watch the show.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean an ex?
You know, January 1st, I have a girlfriend. January 1st.
Chaxy, at 2024. So I sold my Audi.
Which Audi, bro?
When?
But can you imagine, for real, because a lot of that is scripted and a lot of it is false. Can you imagine their friends being like, like what?
Like, what are you talking about?
Chaxy, I celebrated my 28th birthday in Monaco and it was nice. Tulikuwa BND.
that I mean you buy drinks or
Tulisamana birthday yako uchukue bill. What do you mean?
I would watch it.
But it's good entertainment. I watched the first
Are you
episode for
enjoying?
context. No, I'm not watching it.
I am.
But I watched the first episode for context and of course because I want to see what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Nice picture. But it's just not for me. It's not for me.
No, but the next episode looks like it's about to be lit. I can't wait.
No, Mariah is watching, so she's the one who's
you're
giving us
what
a-
they're on episode what?
So right now it's 5 episodes out, so I'm waiting for 6.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so right now there's like a new character who's been introduced. So
yeah.
It's going, but it's really not going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, but you're riding with it.
I'm
At least,
riding.
yeah. At least you're on the back seat.
How much do they show Vera's ass? I'm trying to see if I can watch it.
Vera is always like, I'm sick, who?
Yeah.
But she's
Because she's quite pregnant.
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
show,
yeah. But
Yeah.
now,
Okay.
of course,
Yeah.
but the girls in the show feel like she's using the pregnancy as an excuse to avoid something. Because for some things, she'll pull up. Some things, she's like, oh, I'm sick, I'm lazy, I'm here, I'm her. So guys are like,
Again, Vera is not in charge of the
Bro.
script, I promise you.
oh.
Bad spoiler, but she's not in charge of the
but-
So
script.
I think
They need to sell TV.
so that's it. My hope is overall that the writers of the show are doing their thing because the format is designed for entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
It's light,
Gotcha.
just
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
just light, yeah.
it's light. Just enjoy other people's realities. You
Yeah,
know,
and keep it
Yeah.
pushing.
yeah.
So I'm gonna, as a segue, I'm gonna do a line and I want you to complete the line, right? And then I'll tell you why. Not a line of, just a line of.
Baby powder.
Okay.
What's baby powder?
So
Okay.
it starts.
Wow.
Mko ready?
Yeah.
So, tangu siku tulikuelect,
Aushikagi simu mentu wezi connect.
tumekuwa tukisaka ma appointment.
Tumekuwa tukisuffer disappointment.
Love it.
9 ya 8.
So the reason why I asked that is because you represent many things to me
Okay.
as a person who is a consumer of what you do, but
Okay.
also as a person who thinks you adopt and you mean something to the culture, right?
Got it.
So there's a side of you that is very vocal about how you feel and think about issues,
Yeah.
and especially issues around governance.
Yeah.
And we've covered governance in so
Every
many
day.
ways, all through, even through this episode.
yeah.
We're all going back to policy,
Yeah.
whatnot.
56
Government can do
episodes.
this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're still here.
And so I'm listening to the Kenyan message when you drop the Kenyan message,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
But then in that song, you found the words
Yeah.
for me to articulate what I'm thinking and probably saying, but not saying it in a way that the words would be loud enough
Correct.
Yeah.
or would hit home the way it does, right? So we have a new government. And in the last episode, we asked even the checkmates and we asked randomly here that tell me one thing that you're proud of this current government since they got into office. Just one thing. And we couldn't find a single thing.
We were all silent.
It was so disappointing, right? But then, I spin that to say, in other sad news, we're dealing with whatever we're dealing with. And I think for us Kenyans, the issue is we know what the issue is. We know the solutions are, but everyone wants to make money or get in a position where the problems won't apply to them. So we've never gotten to a critical mass action where we are fed up. Everyone just wants to like, hey, me, I can get that deal tomorrow, Nini. My people and I will be comfortable.
Good.
So these problems don't apply to me and the people that I care about.
Truly.
But other countries have gotten to the point where it's critical now. Guys are like, you know what? Fuck my comfort and the other person. This does not work. We need change. So Nigeria recently elected a new president who speculation is he's very unwell and can't hold office. And that's why he's not in the country.
But then he went to London to rest.
Yeah. The office said he's going to rest there.
President he, anyway.
Remember, Nigerians wamekula promax ya corruption sana.
From presidency to governorship, baseball and literally not catching breaks.
Buhari was never in the country. Like
even Buhari be there.
They used to create posters that your president is visiting us.
But there was a whatever conspiracy
and on top
theory.
of that, they are on a steamer and they pay rent annually.
Oh yeah, but you know in Nigeria you pay your rent annually, not monthly like in Kenya. So you need your rent in lump sum.
To be fair, that's also how it is in Dar es Salaam.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I've never been to that.
Wakijaribu Nairobi tunahama.
What? Ghana? In Ghana, you pay 2 years in advance before you move into the house.
Any deposits.
About 2 months deposit.
Yes.
Na 2 months imeanza juzi.
I'm moving and nimeambia
before
bado
you
2 months
move in.
deposit. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Then
Ghana,
1 month
bado
rent.
ungekuwa
So you're paying
kuria.
for 3 months in advance. So you're telling me Ghana paid 2 years in advance.
That's why
Yeah.
I don't know
Ningekuwa
about
naishi na
that.
baba Mwangi but
Chaxy ungekuwa
Mimi ningekuwa
kuria.
Kuria. Hata singekuwa Nairobi. Sio ningekuwa Nairobi aje. How? Doing what in Nairobi?
Facts.
unajua sisi watu wa gig economy ukinitisha sijui rent ya mwaka mzima.
Kusema nini? Hata ya miezi
What do you
3
mean?
unaniambia nini wewe?
You get.
Hey, bro.
But it's even the thing about because the one common thing about leadership and politics in Africa is that the difference is just the differences are the similarities.
Yeah.
Like it's the same story.
It's the same.
Different countries.
I swear, Africa is a country just in such context. You know, ukienda hapa wanaongeanga hivi. Ukienda hapa, but the things
the
are the
same
same.
bloody thing.
Same.
Because the thing about presidents, right? I've been joking about wanting to vie for presidency, but I think I'll vie for the sake. But I really don't want to be president because for some
Long
reason
thing.
nikipata nitakata tu.
Long
'Cause,
thing.
Yeah, because the
Yet
thing
another
is,
promise. That's
Imagine, that's
not
never gonna...
no, but I'm gonna vie.
Just vie as the Dan Kimati.
Because wait, they
I can
say-
promise you the whole country is voting you in.
But they said you don't need a degree now to vie. So and I'm clear. Like I'm not vying because I want to be president. I don't think I want to be president. It's hectic.
Yeah.
But then if you become president and you choose to vie and become president, that's the job where you don't get leave days.
True.
Yeah.
Bro, you can't be president and thinking you'll go on holiday to a time with it.
That you made one.
It's impossible. You know what I mean?
The country is moving.
Yeah.
Forget
Lupa.
it.
Yeah, why? So when a president is saying it is going to rest, I'm like,
What
the
are you
reason
talking?
is the political campaigns were hectic.
Yeah, imagine. I was like, hey, bro. Anyway, have
That's
you seen
how-
that guy? That guy is 99 Aquara. That guy is, he's looking at death like this.
Mwenye alilamba microphone. Anaambia test the
I
microphone.
love a mic.
Acha nikwambie umse alali. Ako tu hivi akilala anaamka heaven. Anaamka tu kwa St. Peter like hey, bro.
Yo, like anaiva too, but he's declining.
I mean the whole thing was so disappointing
Yeah,
for
it was.
Nigeria.
Honestly, it was
That's
very
why Peter
sad.
But you know,
Ob's
again,
election.
it's
it's on
so
them.
sad.
They voted.
All this young
You can't say that
it's
because
it was-
please, even them, please.
they announced him as president at 3 in the morning.
Please.
for real?
They definitely
Alifanya ile kitu Kibaki
alifanya kila vitu IEBC ufanya.
Yes.
Walikuwa tuna chilobe wao.
No results in the
It was
portals,
awful.
no
It was
nothing. You
awful.
announced this man
It was
at 3 in the
awful.
morning,
It was
and you're telling me
awful.
that
It
is
was
a
awful.
credible
No,
election.
it was awful.
Okay.
It was awful. So I think for me, the worst part of it is like so many young people finally felt like there's some hope in Nigeria and like yes, he can't solve everything, but this is a guy who's like seeing the way we are seeing and we're moving in the right direction.
So
right?
basically hustler.
No, not hustler. I want to
Sakaja.
say, no, do you remember when Kibaki was coming in, we really had
Yote yawezekana
a
bila
sense.
Moi.
Yeah,
Like
there was
everyone was
true,
over
the
Moi.
first Kibaki coming
But I don't
in.
think Totu was anyone not Moi.
No.
Now,
And then Kibaki
when
was
now
the closest.
coalition came
There was
in
not-
2002,
Yeah.
Chaxy.
Yeah, there was
The whole of Kenya was tired of Moi.
Exactly. We were tired of Moi,
Yeah.
but also we were excited at the union of the opposition, you know,
Yes.
because when Odinga said Kibaki Tosha,
That was
then
that.
that's it. So now we have finally unified.
Okay.
And this guy, he's a poor politician. This guy, we know what he is as an economist. He knows how to make
Steer the country to a
things
proper
happen.
direction.
This guy's not
Yeah.
exciting. He's as exciting as Kala Brown. Having said that, you know what I mean?
Si manjano.
So baby number 2 ataitwa Udhurungi.
Please, Aki, I find brown as a color. I mean, I'm like,
Yeah,
wow, it is soil. You know,
Una
you
bell.
Oh wow, it is so.
Haki ya Mungu.
When in Kikuyu upendi land.
It is true. So I'm just like, we had a sense that the things were going to move.
Yeah.
And when you think, imagine, despite everything, Nigerians still make moves.
Yeah.
So if they just
That
had
one
a
of them had one
gava,
A structure that
that
works.
was just, even the guy, don't be 100, just be 50%. Think how
Yeah.
far.
Be 25.
How far would they be?
Madness.
And all those young people, like us, being finally tuned into this thing and being like, we can make a change. So the disillusionment, the frustration, the checking out, that was such a moment for democracy where they could move like 10 steps
step
ahead.
forward, yeah.
Truly.
This one guy coming in, whatever he does,
Will set
tumeshasonga
them
mbele.
back. Yeah.
Tumeshasonga mbele. Now, mzee.
You're set back
Mzee wanaangaliana na
for
kifua
another
hivi
4
like,
years.
bro.
macho.
At a lunchtime.
Anytime, bro.
Hata ki blink too hard, bro.
Literally.
Akifunga macho ya maombi sana.
Anasema kwa mtu anamwamsha yeye umefunga sana macho ya.
Amka bwana.
Anza maliza alafu aseme asikie amen kila mahali hapo hivi.
So who runs the government in Nigeria then?
See him.
How?
Hivyo.
That nigga, bro.
It's the rich peeps. It's the top 1% tuko hivyo.
It's
So
awful.
basically, the people who got him in power are the people who run the
Yeah.
government.
Yeah, and
So all they need
saw-
is just a figure in power,
Yeah.
but they don't necessarily need somebody.
Yeah.
It's whoever they want.
They'll do the
Yes.
puppeteering from upper Jew.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Deep
seen
state.
like ushaiona nini contributions za Harambee za presidential elections, like when Uhuru held his like
At
back
Safari
to
Park.
that,
Yeah.
You think someone in Kenya will just come and say nimekupea 100 million?
for nothing.
And I'm sijui the owner of sijui what industry.
Correct,
sijui wapi kwa hivyo.
correct.
I need that money back. I need you to make some tax sanctions.
Correct.
On the go. I need
You
you to...
will, you will
Bro,
pay
I need
me
these
back.
deals. I need to be the one
kind,
supplying you
Yeah.
whatever.
You will pay me back in kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So those are
for
the guys who
sure.
are
Yeah.
essentially running.
Yeah.
But that, even sadly, man, so this is really, I saw this and I literally came to tears. So Uganda, let me read it. So Uganda passes death penalty law for homosexual offenders. Death penalty.
Yeah, Kaguta Museveni hasn't signed that bill into law yet.
Okay.
I don't see why he won't.
True.
Going by history.
Because I feel like,
Snowball.
generally, to be...
Hi, Snowy.
Okay, Snowball is here. Come say hello. Hi.
Hi, Snowy.
Yeah.
Hi, baby.
The reality is...
Snowball is more active than the Nigerian president.
And he's old in dog years. Can
And
you
he's older in
imagine?
dog years, yeah.
Wako
crazy.
rika moja.
Yeah, wako rika moja actually. Yeah. Na agenda kurest. It's literally
And my
25
mom
past,
been resting,
25
but
past 7 p.m. and Snowball is still making rounds in the studio, making sure we're safe. Snowball could make a better president for Nigeria anyway. I'm pushing it.
This shit is so awful.
Yeah.
Because whether the bill is now passed into law or not, it's already done the thing that it needs to
Massive.
do,
Yep.
right? It's initiated fear, it's
Hate, everything.
hate.
all together.
It's already created the divisiveness, because like provisions in the law, like it's like if you're a parent and you know that your child is gay, you're meant to report them.
Thank you.
If you know a person is gay, you're meant to report them.
Or better yet, take matters into your own hands.
and
Like
it's
you've
not the
opened
act,
such
it's
a
like,
grand
you,
portal.
if you think you're gay, in the future, maybe you might have gay sex. So now,
'cause, yeah.
this is preemptive. It's bullshit. The law is bullshit.
And you're
The
saying
people
it's
who can
upon
prevail
suspicion.
upon suspicion.
Yeah.
Upon
The
suspicion.
person who's
Imagine.
hiring you the house. So when you think about it, what you've really done is you've created like a Gestapo state. I'm over here.
A what?
Wait, Bana.
Okay, no, listen,
What word is that?
no.
I'm Gestapo state.
Shut up, nigga.
The Gestapo, listen.
What? No.
Acha mimi sijui.
What is that?
Of course.
Hey, hii wiki ina shine.
So the Nazis, right? It's too much. It's too much. Oh.
It's too much.
Gosh, it's getting worse.
Man.
Pressure is getting.
Acha niongeze kwa
Hey,
reminder.
Western.
Gestapo
No,
state.
but so times like in Hitler, right? Where the whole
In fact,
Nazis.
guys, it's not
the
one word.
Nazis,
Yeah.
the Nazis,
words.
yeah,
What are
the
you talking?
It's a
Nazis.
state called Gestapo.
The Nazis, like that was the way to do it. Like you have to snitch on your neighbors. So parents have to snitch on children. Children have to snitch on their neighbors' children.
siblings.
Exactly. So you create a state where everybody
standing
basically is a
against each
snitch
other.
on each other. When people are in this kind of survival mode of you're snitching on each other, you can really get away with a lot of shit.
That's very true, 'cause everybody's
right?
distracted.
Everybody's distracted.
Yeah.
Everybody is like there now. The people who the hate elements like really, rise and they occupy a lot of noise. So even if so Mwass, let's say he's neither for nor against the motion. He's just minding his business quietly. Why you quiet? You must be this thing, right? So even you who's not participating, now you're
You're a
You're a
suspect.
suspect. So I think that this is the worst part of this bill.
Divide and
For me,
rule,
it's
if
like
you
even
ask
before
me.
it becomes law,
Already, yeah.
It's divide and
and now
rule.
because there are people who can get away with, but Parliament has passed it, right? So
Evil.
we can already start behaving in this
Yeah.
manner. It's going to allow people who are wanting to
Homophobic
just be
to really
hateful
rule. That's
to just do
very
the thing that
true.
they're going to do.
Very
So
true.
Kaguta can keep that thing in suspense even for the next 3 years,
but
right?
it's
whatever.
It's already,
Achieved whatever
it's already
it's
going to
It's
achieve
already
what
on the
meant to do.
ground. That's it.
Bro,
It's fucking
even
awful.
know
And
the
I also
details
know
of
he
this like
understands
that.
the,
It's fucking
economic turmoil
It's
it would have
fucking
on
awful.
Uganda. If he signs it, I'm sure he'll receive a lot of sanctions.
For sure.
Yeah, of course.
Now,
you wouldn't.
Yeah.
and this is the question: will he? Because I saw this like kind of heavy-worded word salad that the the American minister of state, like basically the foreign affairs person, the person who basically being like, we urge them to reconsider. I'm like, you urge them to reconsider.
What are you urging?
So if you said, rights, what you defend, you're urging them to reconsider. If you meant it, should be like, we are breaking ties
It's done.
immediately.
Yes.
They can't break ties immediately. Munakula, you are extracting from them.
They're making so much from Uganda.
So all they can do is maybe say the thing should stay in limbo. They can exert pressure to be the thing stays in limbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's already done what it's meant to do, even if it's in limbo.
That's true.
Damn, man, I didn't even think about
It's
it.
fucked
But
up.
It's so fucked up
And
because
as Kenya, we should watch because the same religious
It's
man that's doing that
next.
shit there in Uganda is the
Idi
one that's
Amen.
there. Yeah.
Idi Amen.
Now our guy is even much more strategic to the American, European, the powers that be in the region. He's hyper strategic, so they need him. He's their guy, and him is like, me, I'm open for business.
Yeah,
with
let's
Danny.
do it.
Yeah,
What am I
I
getting
mean,
in return?
Kenya has
swear.
sent its own troops to like this war with DRC.
Yeah, we
he's the
saw that,
guy.
the
He's
flag,
the guy.
yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's their guy in the region. He is their guy in the region.
That's
yeah, we are in
fucked
for
up.
some dark times. Yeah.
We're
We're in
so
for
much
some
stuff.
dark
So,
times.
you know, Sasa, and when I say I want to vie for presidency, I don't want to be president, but I could vie. If I get a chance, who knows? But, guys, like genuinely, like Muthoni is saying, we're in for some shit.
We're in for some shit.
I'll always fall back to the creative side because, man, art is really, when Swahili says, Nikiocha Jamii, it really is, man. Like when you're going through COVID, the hardest
it's
times,
art
or
that
even
kept
when
us
you are rock
going.
bottom, imagine
Truly.
you can literally listen to a song or watch
Or
a
see
movie.
a funny
do something.
video and
then
you
it lifts you
forget.
up on that
Completely.
thing.
You
Yeah.
forget.
So-
Or go on Instagram live, yeah.
Club COVID.
Yeah, extendela. And then you call
Say what you will, but that nigga united Kenyans.
Happy na maziwa, and then you're okay.
Okay, like I've never seen us shake like this before.
Ushaona maziwa ikimwagika kwa matako. You know?
Hey, happy bro.
Yo,
He poured happy
happy.
Let me
on
tell
a
you.
babe's ass.
Mtu alipaka blue band, I could
Yeah,
not
that
believe
was
it.
too
Let me
much.
tell you. And hizo chicks zilikuwa zinafanya tu hivi. Bado. Happy or not, hey. But
Best
anyway.
time anapigia simu uko like, not
Uko
now.
now.
Because
Extendela is live.
I've tested positive. We'll talk about that later.
Well, relax,
relax.
We're going to live vision. Kwani unakufa within this hour?
I tell you,
Ningoje.
after some time, you aren't even going there to look at naked women. You're just like, what crazy shit are they gonna do?
What the fuck is going to happen today?
Hey,
It's
my
true.
goodness.
Utamengia kwa
Actually,
frame na
Can I
fly
ask,
with
why is it...
Cow.
What are you gonna do with that?
There's a babe who went into a cow shed. I could not believe it.
The baby went into a cow shed. Because everyone was doing the most.
Cow shed.
Because how do you stand out? Because remember, also, the more you entertain people on
The more money
the
you
more money you
get.
make.
Yeah. So my question here is, does Xia now feel that his post-COVID life is really a fucking anticlimax? Is this guy just being like, take me, Lord, there's nothing else
No,
to do?
I've done
my part.
I
I've
served
done my
my
part.
purpose.
Xandela, I'm sure he's saying, Raila say demonstrations Monday to Monday. So everyone's in the house. And then what?
Mande manos.
Yeah, Azimio now.
It's
See in the
not
club,
the
Azimio.
They're telling Monday and Thursdays. Extian, it's time for you to revive your
Shine.
Yeah,
What,
come
this
back.
is
what
your
was the
moment.
other one, the international one? The guy, I'll connect
Tory
Tory
Lanez.
Tory Lanez.
The story. But also,
Quarantine.
Saa zingine
Quarantine.
unataka kushika simu mbili juu wako live at the same
share your
time.
shit.
Tory alianzisha. Tory alianzisha.
And then those two,
Quarantine
those two,
radio,
those two
that was
Kenyan babes who
everything.
represented
Who
us
did
there
nothing.
badly.
Shakila and someone
Shakila
else.
salvaged the country. But those two babes.
Shakira deserves.
There are two babes in Alichoma.
Who went
Walitokea.
first?
Okay, but
Shakila
what are your
rescued the
names? I think I
country.
said, Wambo. Where are you from? Kenya. Okay, do your thing.
I loved it.
I remember the
And all
first two
Kenyans were like, wow. Hadi Tory Lanez alikuwa like,
No,
nah.
Tory alikata simu. Yeah,
He's like, bro.
that's when you,
But
it was
also,
a
cool
mess.
things came out of that. Aside the fun stuff, there were also things like
Barasas,
verses.
yeah.
Yeah.
Look
But
at that.
Barasas na Club COVID zikiwa on at the same time.
Club COVID too. Because then I'll go listen to Jarul later.
Versus was pretty fire.
Barasas was
Yeah,
fire.
that was fun.
beautiful.
I have a question. Have you guys ever been on anybody's live, like post-COVID? Like this year, have you been on anybody's live?
We
were
went
on our
live
own
the
live.
other day.
Indeed.
To promo our live show. That's the only live we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how
don't
did you?
know.
How did you feel? Was the interaction with the
It
audience?
was a terrible
It
experience.
was terrible because Emma Cheruto alituhemesha.
we had
That was
Emma
one.
Cheruto was supposed to host with the page,
Yeah.
and then us we join with our
With our
individual
personal.
pages.
So we had, it's
But
like
then-
we'll be like, Muthoni, you use the mic check page,
Yes.
then we'll join with our
Yes.
personal so that
Yeah.
all the pages
Yeah,
are there.
alive.
Alitu
Emma
Hemesha.
Alicia,
Technical difficulties.
Hema
Like-
Cheruto.
She couldn't
No,
add
I'm your
any of us
others.
on the live. And she's on our official page.
Oh shit!
No, she ended up in the comments.
Imagine
Then we ended up hosting from
my
Mariah's live.
page.
And then she added us. Then you Miss Kwani me update Instagram, so I couldn't be able to be added to live.
Shit.
And then my phone overheated and zima.
And it's mad. But
Wow.
Wow!
but also we didn't announce it. We just did it randomly. But then because the mic check page came on, and then checkmates were there, bro. It was crazy.
Madness.
But the thing is, we kept moving from Emma to Mariah.
mine,
Mwass
to
is moving,
Wood.
but all of them
Yeah.
kept moving.
So would you do another one?
would
For
love
sure.
to.
Yeah, but now much better produced and like
Definitely.
updated Instagram
Yeah.
Come on.
and trial test.
Like we
Better
even try it
phones.
before we do it. Yeah.
Mimi mnaweza
We will do
kasirika
it.
niende Parkland sasa ninunue simu.
Enda.
Enda ununue.
Enda urudi.
Enda ununue.
Tushtue.
Tunapigia
Enda
Njuguna
urudi.
kesho.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but for sure, I think we'll do it. Because even as much as we had those challenges, we still didn't quit. We still did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh shit. Clearly, people would want us to do more of this.
these,
So we're exploring
yeah.
more. Even Sundays doing this live on YouTube.
Okay.
Like, because our show, it's always this way, uncensored. We never cut out anything. Like the way we recorded, it's gonna
Yeah.
go on YouTube.
Nivo.
So this could be live on YouTube. So
Okay.
checkmates
Actually, that's
could
a
join
good
us
thing,
on
yeah.
for the recording.
Yeah.
So whoever joins, they sit on Sunday.
Yeah.
Whoever didn't join, wait till Wednesday to
When
see
you
it.
drop the
That's
post.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
And
we're exploring those
Remember
ideas.
this computer here that's 900,000 shillings. It's true.
If you can't do
I
live,
never touch anything in this studio.
But-
Mimi nakujanga nakaa hapa namaliza natoka. You said
Yeah.
it can do like a live thingy. There's,
got
what
it.
did you
So
call
we'll
it?
explore
There's
that.
something you called it.
Yeah.
Engato.
Engato.
We'll
Engato.
go that.
Gestapo state.
Listen,
It's very
we circle back.
The
we
word
circle back.
salad.
Circle back.
Hold up. So we circle back to, because we were still on Uganda.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the perspective, and I think we also probably hadn't read much on that. But then it makes so much sense. What they're saying is that even if they know it's not going to pass, they know that the
already
fact
done
that
a
they can
lot.
advance it that
Yes,
far,
yeah.
then they've achieved the objective.
Yeah.
The
they've done it.
damage. The
Yeah.
damage
done.
is done.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
William said, why are you gay? Says they're like, untouchable. Literally.
No, but Chaxy,
Put
let's
up
be real.
billboards.
Regardless of it, that interview is hilarious.
Me, I didn't
There's
find that
nothing
thing
funny about
hilarious.
it. Yeah, there's
No.
nothing funny about it.
Because of the
There's
real
nothing
life
funny about it.
consequences
Yeah.
of that
There's nothing
thing,
funny
you
about
know?
it. Yeah, there's nothing
I'm
funny
like,
about
bro, you're just here acting like what? Like the reality, someone is
Yeah.
going to get kicked out of their home today.
of
Someone's
you.
going to get
Yeah.
killed.
Was it
because
even
of
an
you.
And
interview? 'Cause
also,
alikuwa tu
and also, if you're national television and you're gonna have
There are ways to
so
go
this is the
about
thing,
it.
even when we did, because we did an episode with Sharon where, because checkmates were like, we need to do something about the whole, because there was a lot of questions
understand
about
it.
pronouns and what. And they're like, listen, we'll get someone who has more information about it and we'll do that episode. So us coming here, we sat down and were like, listen, this is something that is sensitive to people. So we can't just come and joke about everything.
Yeah.
Let's think about what are we asking? What do we want someone to come out with?
Exactly.
So if you're national television and you're gonna have that person,
Yeah, you have to be
there's
really
no
thoughtful.
way that is a question you're bringing
It's
up.
true. You have to be really thoughtful.
Also, at the capacity she went in as an equality activist. You're being called for an interview as an activist, then your
Indeed.
personal life is being brought into question.
Indeed.
I didn't even know.
So
On
unprofessional.
national
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a gay
Yes,
rights activist.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But she's there as
discuss
capacity,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
Activism.
Yes.
Why this is wrong, what the government
Exactly.
needs to do, what policies
Exactly.
need to
Oh
be
wow,
created.
okay.
But now
I
it's
didn't
like,
know the
An
back
attack
end
on
of
her
that
person.
story.
Yeah.
I didn't know the
That's
back
not
end of that.
acceptable.
Wow, that's
I agree.
messed
That's
up.
not acceptable.
So
Yeah.
to Uganda,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Okay, Chaxy, they've been with this president for years. There's no way they've played themselves.
again,
Congratulations,
Yeah.
you played yourself.
oh, I got it. No, it's true though.
Yeah.
So and I keep hearing this. So you meet especially people from Kenya who travel a lot. They keep telling you, we have so many problems as a country, but it's because we are so cognizant of what the problems are. But when you travel to other African countries, you're like, oh shit, home is better.
Facts.
So I'm
Any
like,
day.
if this is what we think is better, and then you think about Uganda,
Yeah.
and then if you are like, oh shit, same president for how many years, such policies, then you understand why the country is that backwards in terms of policies and even just
Everything in
simple rules
between,
and rights to
yeah.
protect people. So in Kenya now, the Supreme Court said it's fine for organizations, LGBTQIA identified organizations to exist. But then we have a president fighting it. But the good thing about it, I love that the fact that the government is fighting it when the court says it's
already
fine.
approved.
Because
Nobody's above
that
the
debate
law.
is necessary. We need to debate it. Even if people don't agree, the
It needs to be
debate
a
itself
conversation.
is going to create so much education.
Yeah,
Truly.
and I agree with you. But I feel like the undertold story of the debate is the premise of what is the fundamental reason why, sort of the Supreme Court upheld. This idea is upholding the right to association.
Bill of
Freedom
Rights.
of association.
Yes.
Right?
Association, yes.
If you knock that thing out because you want to punish,
push
queer
an
people,
agenda.
right? So you want to say these people don't deserve, it is immoral, bullshit, and then you remove it, right? What you have done is you have now opened the room
portal
for the
for
state to
everyone
say, you cannot be in a circle, you don't have the right to association. We are going to decide who gets to be
gets
in
to
association.
And who doesn't.
That
Who
is
gets
very
to set up a
true.
political party?
That is
Who gets to set up anything called
podcast.
right to association?
Yeah.
You would require there. So to me,
Consent,
I'm like,
true.
as Kenyans, that's the undertold part of this story.
Yeah.
Especially if you feel very strongly about this and you're like, yes, our queers, blah, 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 blah. Don't even do it for them. Do it for your own self-preservation.
Yeah.
That once you because politicians are not your friends. Those guys are not your mates. These guys, the politicians, are currently in bed with money from right-wing America because it serves them, right? There's some other people who are going to get in bed with money from Saudi Arabia because it serves them. It's just politics. So politicians are not our moral compass. And the church is definitely not our moral
You
compass,
Wali left
right?
group.
Kanisa kwanza
So me, I'm
kitambo
like,
sana.
Kenyans should be just like sisi wenyewe kwa wenyewe.
Just defend each other at this
Just
point.
take 10 steps back and be like, but actually, like literally, what is the own goal we are about to score
Kujifunga.
here? Thinking that we are trying to punish or to moralize queer people.
certain group of
as soon as you
people.
allow for your constitution to be eroded at a small part, like right to association.
Bloop comes back to you.
And I think also,
Small. And that's the undertold part. And I'm just like, that's the part of the discussion that I really think we should lean into. I'm not having a conversation with
fundamentals.
anybody
The
about
foundation of
this,
everything.
whether you like or don't like or
That's
agree or
your
don't
business.
agree, bro. That's
It's
on
a you
That's
problem.
on you. That's a you problem.
That's
a you problem.
Me, I'm just like the premise, the bedrock of this thing. Ikitu ikienda for them, imeenda for everyone.
Everyone.
And you know how...
To me, akili.
And we see when you see rulings, like a lot of rulings, and even when lawyers are debating, you'll see they'll be like, they'll refer to a case. They'll be like, in the
Precedent.
judgment of
Precedent.
case, so.
That's it.
And they can make such a strong argument
Yes.
out of a ruling that was made.
Yes.
So if
Yes.
this goes this way,
Yes.
that means tomorrow
Yes,
someone else could
that
be
is the
like,
practice of law. It's built on precedent. If you can demonstrate, that's what I mean. So when the KTDA lady won that, it created
It opened a whole
precedent
new-
for copyright law for me to say
start,
there's a
okay.
thing like image rights and this person was awarded. Therefore, there's a legal argument. That's it.
so we can build on that.
You can build
and
on it.
advance it
Exactly.
further to whatever we want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm just like in our hatred for others, please tusijichukue. Usijichukie we mwenyewe.
Mandemanos.
Yeah. So even this mandamano, for example,
Mandemanos.
I'm not here. I'm not here. I don't
Mandemanos.
like
Mandemanos.
Raila's premise for maandamano. To me, is neither here nor there,
Truly.
right? The premise for me that is more important is the freedom to peaceful demonstration. That's the thing that we must defend.
Yes.
Now, him, whatever his motivations of calling for this thing,
That's his
who-
problem.
I don't know who. That's all him. Because also, that's politicians, it's all them.
Yeah.
Last time, wakaitana mahali kamkutano, wakafanya handshake, wengine wakafanya nusu mkate. Politicians don't involve us in their shit.
Truly.
So I'm not here. I don't feel like anybody should be on the street for or against Raila. That is neither here nor there.
True.
The issues at hand, and most importantly, your right to peaceful demonstration.
Yeah.
That is the thing that we should be fighting for. Because insert whoever, people leave, people die, remove this
90 years from
politician,
now-
return another politician.
Same script.
Yes.
Different people, same thing. But then, Muthoni, then wouldn't someone argue and say, right, that it's not a level playground? So we sound liberal because we assume it's level. But then if it's already not level, then why should our argument be level? Like, for instance, we'd be like, so this is why I do not support the demonstrations. And we say this on the podcast. I did not vote. The reason why I did not vote is because it's my right one, but also because I did not believe either Raila or Ruto. Like, I don't
There was
support
nothing on
either
the
of them,
table for you.
but also I didn't have options. Someone will be like, but there's an independent candidate. I'm like, be realistic. He didn't stand a chance.
surely.
So that's why I did not vote. Now, but in the back of my mind, whoever became president, I fully supported them. Because me saying, I didn't vote, but I won't support any of them means I want Kenya to fail. I want whoever gets in office to make Kenya
what
succeed.
works
for
So
you.
I want you to be the best government we've
Yes,
ever had because I
yes.
want to succeed, right?
Indeed.
Now, when I look at Raila and the team at Azimio, I've never, not even once, believed they're demonstrating because they have our interest at heart.
Yeah, me too.
They're only demonstrating because they have their
They want
own
their
interest.
power
That's my
back.
point.
So if you are going to the streets tomorrow, you're not going to the streets tomorrow because
You're
it's
fighting
true
for
the cost of
yourself.
living is high.
No.
It's true. I want you
Yeah.
to make better policies for me as a
Truly.
creative. I'm going to the street tomorrow because Raila said
Let's go to the
Yeah.
street.
So take
Facts.
Raila out of the equation. Are people demonstrating
That
tomorrow?
is my point. That is exactly my point. So if you look at a country like France has had like
Mad demonstrations. Yo.
sustained for years. Like
Those guys
yellow
protest.
jackets.
And I-
See how
They're
France
not-
looks
And I
They're
like
not.
because they always slap the president once annually. Once annually.
What do you think?
Cool about it.
What do you think would
Macron
happen?
akienda kukuwa na watu anakuanga tu na baridi. He's like, bitch. Kuna tu fala fulani
Haezi
anakuja
sali- haezi
kuslap.
salimia watu
Bro,
randomly.
bro,
But he
bro,
still-
bro,
he still
bro,
do it
bro,
every once in a while.
anaslapiwa
Bab.
tu.
Kibare kwa face. Jovi said it.
So, but my sense, my thing about that is Yellow Jackets is not led by politicians. It is a principle. On principle, we are disagreed with this idea around your solution for the how to curtail greenhouse emissions. We are disagreed with cost of living. We are disagreed with your
Taxes.
here
and
at
whatnot.
10 points.
Yeah.
So we have gone on the street to demonstrate. And over a period of time, the demonstrators have become more and more. The thing has gained momentum because it is not premised on politician X. Now, politicians are the ones who piggyback. On these people like ni Mwass, ni sisi tumetoka tu nje.
Tumeamua
next week,
kutoka ku-
hivyo,
yeah.
right? And then our politicians can jump onto our agenda. right?
To push
We
their
the
own,
people. Right? In Kenya, it is a politician's
reverse.
agenda that he then they're whatever. Actually, to be honest, whatever they're beefing about, I don't know,
That's
offending
their
servers, that's
business.
all this.
But also,
But then now they're saying, you know, also cost of living, you know, also, so
Yeah.
now to be able to suck
Yeah,
us
it's
into
their own
People out of
interest.
their houses,
to,
yeah.
their
Like,
bullshit.
like my clean lady, right? So we were speaking because I'm telling her, listen, if it's not safe, don't come. Like, because she comes from Kibra, one of the most affected areas, right? I'm like, yo, if it's not safe, don't leave the house. Like, actually, I'm like, there's more other days in the week you can come. But then, so she's telling me how in Kibra, so demos on Monday, Sunday night, there
Cops
was
landed.
buses from Kisumu, Sierra, whatever, school buses hired, full of people. But then because they can't accommodate them, so they are at Olympic, the primary school. So I'm thinking, oh
been
shit.
brought from
So
Kisumu.
now you're bringing people from the rural areas, you pay them maybe 500 or whatever money, people who probably are unemployed because
Have
of
nothing
you.
to lose, yeah.
So you're taking advantage, you're making sure they're unemployed so that you can still use them. So you're bringing in buses and buses of people from whatever. Then they're the guys who are staging protests. Because you've realized, Mimi, and I keep saying it, you're never going to find me on the road demonstrating unless it's a cause I really believe in. You think Raila will tell me to go on the street tomorrow and go to the
I'm
street?
pulling up. Hell
Nigga,
no.
are you mad?
Me, I went for my dress, my choice.
But
That's
of
what
course
you
someone
believe
told me to
in.
go, right? You know what I mean?
Nilijiambia.
You believe in
Because it's
that.
the right thing to do.
Exactly.
And
So
you
now,
felt,
when we know, and it's the same thing, bro, when you look at campaigns, they always, and it's not Raila, even Ruth, everyone does it.
Yeah.
The buses of people, because they said they must look full,
Yeah.
for them to create the impression that this is the party that
They
is
have
most
the
supported. So
masses,
we
yeah.
need you to vote for this party.
Yeah.
So until the day when it moves from the office, moves from the person in office to the office, it has to be an institution.
Yeah.
So let me believe in the institution, regardless of the person in the institution,
Yeah.
because I know there's laws that will make sure whoever is in office thrives.
And also,
Now it's about people. It's about Raila and Ruto.
that's it. And
Truly.
that's my point. I'm like, I'm not willing to be a bodyguard for like
For
a body
anyone,
whatever.
yeah.
Hizi vitu mnaulizanaga and then
Mwende muulizane kwa state house, but
mnaulizanaga.
muulizane kwa gates.
Ama kule mnafanyanga biashara pamoja because also people are business associates.
They're also in government
You
together.
all have back channels
probably
to
even
one
having tea
another.
together, sahi.
You know what I mean? And then muulizane huko.
You're even related to each other. So
Yeah,
who's married,
people
who
marry each
truly,
other. Yeah,
vitu kubeba na
so yeah,
ufala.
I agree with you. Like, I'm not
Yeah, me,
I'm not
for
buying
it.
this
Yeah,
one.
same, me, I'm
I
not for
really
it.
fundamentally believe and protect and like I'll shout any day of the week for the right for us to protest.
Yes.
And that's guaranteed to us in the Constitution and we should not yield it. Because now what also is going to happen, again, I'm just like, please, Kenyans, manze,
Look at the bigger
please,
picture.
just look at the thing. So what Kenyans are going to do, by the time we're entering week 2 of this thing, Kenyans are going to start telling the government, shut this shit down because we are
We're
losing
tired.
business.
That 20 kazi
Yes.
Monday na
Thursday,
Thursdays.
sindio? So then the government is going to have a nice little opening to say, actually, we have now taken away this right of
Because tuliwapatia mkaribu.
And now tomorrow, if we have a real issue to protest, we
correct.
can't.
Now you can't because so I'm also like the other way to detonate, to remove the sting from this thing is it's like don't go. Because they're using us, right? For all we know.
To fight
Honestly,
each other.
Right now, even for all we know.
They
Maybe
could
this
be
is a plan
chilling
that
and
they've actually
laughing.
made together. Like,
So that they're
bro,
like, hey,
let's
when they
do
actually
this.
do the handshake, we'll feel like it's
Exactly.
necessary.
Exactly.
And
For
it
all
was
we know,
about
we are
time.
being played. So I'm just like, I think the Kenyans are the ones with power here to be like, we actually
don't
have
want this
issues and this is,
nonsense.
we're not going to go on the street
Yeah.
for you about servers. I don't know elections that happened. No,
Yeah.
we the people, we're not coming, but you can do it. Because
Yeah,
that's your,
do it.
you, that's your
You do
cause.
it and then present to us proof
What you
beyond reasonable doubt,
decided,
and we'll
yeah.
side you.
Yeah.
Because
you
we're
do it.
open-minded.
You do it.
They went to court. Like, this country, the government has a weird relationship with the Supreme Court.
Indeed.
Because in one way, they agree. Like, even Juicy signed...
Like they choose and pick what to
yeah.
agree and
The
disagree
CASs,
with.
when they were being sworn in, see, it was like it's illegal for Ruto to do
It's
that.
illegal.
Yeah, it's illegal,
It's
yeah.
But he
illegal.
still did it.
It's
Like at 7,
unconstitutional.
Yeah.
in the
And then
morning,
now
he
he'll
sang
be
at
there.
The case was at 9. Ruto swore them in at 7:30.
And then now the case
50
has gone
and-
in, and then they've been told that now, they've been sworn in, but they can't take office.
Yeah.
But also
I'm
the
waiting
other
to
thing
see
is,
how that
but also the
unfolds.
other thing is,
Indeed.
Yeah.
But Muthoni, if the law says you can appoint maximum 23,
Why would
when
you
have
upload 50?
Thank you.
how are you law
Hata 24
abiding?
tungefinya macho tuseme,
Even
Yes.
but
I mean,
still,
Uhuru
your
did the
industry
same
ni
thing.
big,
Because Uhuru had
big.
26.
Uhuru was told 23.
Is
he
it
put
26?
But
But
how
still-
are you told 23? You put 50.
But even 26, we still had an issue with it. We're like,
Yeah.
yo.
You know, but it's fine.
You can't choose and
Yeah.
select what
Yes.
works for you
Yeah.
and still
Yeah.
say we should uphold
Yes.
law and
Yeah.
order.
Yeah.
Because now
But
next time,
Sawa 26, we can be like, okay, cool.
But you can't be
Not cool, but Sawa 50.
But you can't be the same person who is supposed to be making sure that we uphold law and order, but you're the first person to
You're
break
the
it.
ultimate lawbreaker.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
come
come
on.
on, guys.
Yeah.
We need to make it work.
Having said that, I also appreciated David D writing to guys and being like, what do you think? These are called the spoils of war. Obviously, we don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Obviously, that is what is
It's the
happening.
truth, yeah.
Because this is the way politics works. For them to do, let's hold all things held constant. Let's say they actually have a great agenda and they actually want to do something. For you to do that something means that you have to secure home. So your niggas who didn't ingia, you have to manage those guys
Hold
so that
them
they're not the
down.
ones who start chimbiaing you. So
Yeah.
that when you're
Utoke.
in Silo Uko, because when you're entering now, when you enter your first term, what you're really doing is buying time for your second term.
True.
So you're on a 10-year run, right? And I think we saw that very clearly, like in Makueni. In the first term of Kivutha Kibwana, he could do nothing.
Truly.
Because MCAs were trying to
against
impeach
him.
him. Trying to bullshit. So you have to manage the MCA so that you can do the thing that you need to do as the
truly.
governor.
Okay.
Everything that Kivutha did and that we loved and that we saw really happened in the last,
the last
5
time.
years.
Yeah.
And when he
Which,
know he could not buy again,
exactly.
and so
Which was like, so if this guy had just been able to secure a home in year one, spend year
he
one,
would have done so
dealing with
much.
the bullshit of who needs to be rewarded, who needs to be silenced, who needs to be managed, la, 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 la.
Yeah.
Could he have bought 9 years of doing work? I am not in any way trying to defend or accept or agree with what they are doing.
but that's
I'm
but
just
that's,
like,
that's a good
what-
perspective, though. That's good perspective.
So what
because I never thought about it that
so
way.
me, what I like is at least these guys are doing their bullshit with their chest. They're like, bro,
Out to
you
Dangani,
don't
yeah.
love
It's
it,
on our faces, yeah.
but here we are doing it, and this is why we are doing it.
Yeah.
Next question. So I'm like, okay, I guess at least wakikuibia nakwambia
Yeah.
wanakuibia kwa uso.
Yeah.
So then,
Truly.
So
No, unlike Jamie Wan.
because you see, the thing is, we
Jamie Wan hatakuwa najua kunaendelea aje.
Aye, he was just
Anasikia tu
chilling.
stories like
Kizungu,
shit.
kizungu.
Jamie Arnold was giving us memes and he was
English,
funny.
English.
This guy we are getting nothing.
Meme.
alikuwa anasema
Kama
tu,
amestem.
yeah, you know,
Good looking.
he'd come
Yes.
on air and talk about dynasty, and he make fun about his family.
Yeah.
Sindio,
Somehow. But then, so again, it's true. So there's more cards being played for sure. It's politicians. So.
It's politicians. This is the nature
Yeah.
of politics.
Truly.
But
So me,
It's
my
just-
point is, I'm at the point where I'm like, bro, IDGAF.
I'm with you.
Fanya hivi. Ile kitu ulisema utafanya.
fanya, wacha
Wewe fanya
maneno
tu yoyo.
mingi.
Wewe reward sijui nani, pea nani sijui nini. Sawa, hiyo shit yote mmesema. Genuinely, you have an
Just do
opportunity
what you need
solve
to do.
agriculture. Solve.
Please.
Right?
Yeah.
Actually solve. Actually just do that thing. Solve. Hiyo kitu mnasema. Fanya tu hiyo kitu moja. So this is my only... What is the word called? The straw. I mean, I know I may be just
Clutching at the
deluded.
last
I'm
straw.
just
Clutching at the
clutching
last
at that
straw.
straw for like, okay, after hii 1 year, okay, sasa mkisha secure home base, peaneni whoever, hey, sasa ile kitu mnaenda kufanya,
Please do
fanyeni,
it.
you know, because we are also in a climate emergency. We need the right leadership now.
Or else we are fucked up.
It doesn't matter, bro. You can't finesse the climate. Like you cannot.
You can't pay it
bro,
off.
you can't. Bro, you cannot finesse La Nina.
Yeah.
You can't finesse
That's
that thing.
true.
You know what I mean? So you're going to need somebody who's really understanding the moment that we are in and to be decisive around the opportunities. You know, Kenya is like 89% clean. What are the opportunities built? The beneficiaries will actually be those people that they're talking about. People at a low level, like farms, like low-income households. Rich guys, everybody can make money if we approach this climate thing well. So I'm just like, bro, fanyeni hiyo
What you're
kitu.
supposed to do.
Also, they've said they're here for creative. So I'm like, can we be? They've
Can
said
we
they're
start?
open for business. Can we
Can we
see
start?
a government that's actually responsive
Yeah.
to the business of young people, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's think about that. Like, for real, how do you make sure that crypto doesn't just end up being scams?
Yeah.
Right? How do you enable an environment actually for crypto to work? Pia mneza benefit uko ndani, sawa, atuwakatazi. But
make it work.
deliver for us.
Just give us
You know what-
fundamentals.
that's
Can
what I'm
it
saying.
work first?
Yeah.
That's the part I'm at. I'm like, I'm over screaming at politicians. I'm like, these niggas have agendas. Even us as Kenyans, we need our own agendas. Right? So
And push it ourselves.
yeah, like we need our own agenda. So everybody I've talked to, any Uber driver I've been with, I've brought up this, like, I'm like, have you guys noticed out of the blues, now all of a sudden we are a Christian state, LGBTQ, whose agenda is this that is being pushed? Can we, us as Kenyans, can we be like, no, those are not
We
our
don't
agendas.
want. Yeah. Yeah.
As our agendas are, we must have right to
Policies.
association.
Yes.
Wapewe hiyo association yao,
Yeah.
wafanye venye wanataka. Hata waizi wakitaka kutengeneza association.
Watengeneze.
Waende
Chapeli.
waregister.
Na they wafollow the
Kenya
legal
PG.
process na watengeneze.
Association ya PG. Sasa this year and then mtafute your information. You know, I feel like as Kenyans we need to get to that level where we are like, none of you are our homies. True. So
Just do what I
let's
put you
build
in-
our
in
agenda.
power to do,
Yeah,
please.
Yeah.
Whew, I think that's a nice point to end
Nice
it.
place, yeah.
Yeah,
To
what do you guys
discuss,
think? Yeah.
manze.
Yeah,
We've learned some words.
President of
We've learned
music.
some words.
We've learned a lot of
This
words.
episode is
You know what I
raining
mean?
some
Yo,
mountains.
thank you
We've
for
given
being,
advice
This
to Okello
episode has
Max.
been
Yeah.
brought to you
Okello
by
minimum.
English Dictionary.
but yo, thank you for being such a beautiful spot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And for agreeing to come on the
guys.
show.
Yeah, this is so dope.
We can't wait for blankets.
Karibuni. I have your
Asante.
tickets. Your tickets will be delivered.
Oh, for real?
Oh my God.
Wait.
The pod, manze. We
thank
must lazima
you.
turudishe mkono pia.
Oh,
Asante.
bless you.
Asante. And when we have fine-tuned the idea of
We
how
ready.
we can
We open
it
for
out.
business.
Yes,
Please.
sir.
We're open for business.
Yeah.
We're open
Yeah,
for
and
business.
also the next time you think you wanna come on the pod, because now
Holla.
we reached out. So the next time you feel like
And
you
I'm
reached out,
ready. Hey, and I want to come and
Zombie.
play you my exclusive new tune.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Tune.
And,
Jam.
Unity.
and we can invite some checkmates to come hang out
Yeah.
and then
Have like a
You
small
know what I
intimate
mean?
audience.
That's the thing.
That'll be
It has
fun.
to make sense to everybody.
Yeah, that'll
And then
be
we
fun.
split it into two serious stuff
Indeed.
and then my joke.
JV.
Yeah.
Kama kawa.
Yeah, we can do it.
This
But
is
man,
a really
listen, me,
enjoyable episode.
personally,
Thank you.
I don't know about these two people personally. Again, I love you so much.
Thank you.
We
I
love you
I appreciate you
too.
so much. I
you.
think you're very essential. We need you.
Thank you.
And keep glowing, man.
Thank
keep doing what you
you.
gotta do,
Yeah.
man.
No, probably.
Yeah,
I don't
come
know,
on.
Muthoni, I don't know if you hear this enough, but thank you so much for what you're doing for the culture.
Oh,
Thank you.
That's what's up.
Can I give you a hug?
I really appreciate
No,
that.
Chaxy, you're doing the most. Breathe. Minimize.
Minimum hug.
Minimize.
Iliambiwa ile tena. Unakumbuka 3+1.
Minimize.
But it's fine. Thank you so much.
Muthoni cause pia wamesema sasa mimi pia lazima niseme.
Kuna
Lazima
kitu
upeane.
compared kunipatia
No,
tu ka
honestly.
compliment.
It's not even a compliment. It's just a reality of if I compliment you, sure itaisha. So I'm just saying, like before even you came, like I've never interacted with you on that personal level, and I had a lot. I didn't have a lot of expectations or anything. I was just like, okay, let's see what's gonna happen. But I've had a very enjoyable, like maybe 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bro, 3.5
It's
hours.
fucking smart.
It's 4 hours. You done 4 hours.
The thing I've picked out mostly, it's every topic we've discussed, you've introduced an angle we didn't look at it from.
Truly.
You know,
Thank you.
and that's
Yeah.
very like profound and empowering. And thank
Thank
you for
you.
that.
You're
and
brave.
your nice words. I'll buy you a
Wow.
thesaurus on a back.
Javio.
Ongeza
September
vocabulary.
4th.
Your birthday.
September 4th.
September 4th.
Oh,
You're a
September
Virgo.
Ah, Virgo.
Nice.
One thing you're born in common.
Nice.
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 September babies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unajua February babies wanaitwaje?
We
The
don't
patience.
Babies.
Baby.
Babies.
Babies.
Nah, fuck that.
Thank
Man,
you.
thank you so much. First minisode of the year.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it even a mini? So this is a
Full on
Full-on
episode.
episode.
Yeah,
I
so
thought
this
I'm
is
the
episode
first guest with
57.
2 guests.
Yeah.
Which
Hey,
episode?
episode 57, yeah.
56.5.
57.
Nimeharibu
I think we just
the
upload this as
Yeah,
56.5.
56.5.
1 week, 2 episodes.
56A and 56B.
Yeah.
kama forms za ABC.
Thank you so much. We're out of here. Bless you.
That was lovely.
Over 26. This is
The Bagger Podcast.
This is the Brunch Club. Over 26.
Welcome back to
The mics are closed.
Now, when you watch it, you'll understand.